I just need some space to figure things out. That's what Kalia Terry said. For days before I saw her in a wedding dress, on someone else's live stream. Let me ask you something. Have you ever loved someone so much you ignored the obvious signs? Ever been told, it's not you, it's me, only to find out it was definitely you, because they were with someone else the whole time? Or better yet. Ever thought you were building a future, only to realize you were just part of someone else's transition plan? Let me know in the comments, have you ever been blindsided by someone you trusted with everything? And while you're here, don't forget to subscribe. These stories aren't just mine. They're ours. They're real. Raw. Unfiltered. My name is Armani Bird. I'm 34 years old, a graphic designer from Charlotte, North Carolina. The quiet type. Loyal to a fault. I don't do drama. I don't chase. I build. That's what I thought I was doing with Kalia, building something that could last. She was 32. Gorgeous. Smart in a way that made people lean in when she talked. She had a knack for understanding people, reading the room, saying the exact right thing in front of the right people. Kalia worked as a freelance social media strategist, which really meant she was always on. Always connected. Always, somewhere. We met through a client of mine. One of those late-night mixers after a conference downtown. She complimented my watch, then roasted me for my tragic drink order. I laughed so hard I nearly spilled it. I still remember that. She had this laugh, open, full, unfiltered. The kind that grabs your attention and makes you feel like you're already in on the joke. Things moved fast. Within 6 months, we were spending every weekend together. By the end of year 1, she moved into my condo. We talked about marriage. Kids. Not right away, but down the line. She'd drop hints. What do you think our kids would look like, or, you'd be such a chill dad. I believed her. Believed in us. I paid the bills, encouraged her career, helped redesign her brand assets when she started her own consultancy. So when she said she needed space, I gave it to her. No questions. No pressure. Just, space. That's what you do when you love someone, right? But 4 days later, I was scrolling through Instagram, just trying to keep my mind off things, and I saw a familiar name tagged in a story. Joelle Waller. We weren't close, but we'd met a few times. She was always posting events, parties, weddings. I clicked without thinking. It was a video, the camera panned over a beachfront ceremony in Tulum. Everyone standing, clapping. Then the bride came into view. It was her. Kalia. In a white lace gown. Holding hands with a man I didn't recognize at first. They kissed. Everyone cheered. Someone yelled, to the basses. I sat there frozen. Kalia bass. She took a break from me, to marry someone else. It's funny how clearly you remember the beginning. Even when everything else gets torn apart. We met 5 years ago at a marketing conference in Austin. I'd flown in last minute to present on design ethics in branding. I wasn't even supposed to be there. Kalia was moderating a panel on influencer strategy and digital engagement. She walked into the room like she owned it, not in an arrogant way, just, like she belonged. Everyone noticed her. The way she spoke, the way she moved, the way she made eye contact when she asked questions. I remember sitting in the back row with my laptop, pretending to take notes when really I was watching her. After the panel, we ended up at the same hotel bar. She ordered an old-fashioned, no fruit, extra bitters. I made some joke about her having the palate of a retired mobster. She laughed, then asked what font I hated the most. We talked for 3 hours that night. About design, identity, loneliness in creative industries, childhood stuff, exes, ambition. It wasn't just attraction. It was recognition. Like two puzzle pieces from the same box. I lived in Charlotte. She was still in DC at the time. But we made it work. Trips back and forth. Long video calls. Late-night brainstorming sessions. She told me her dream was to build her own boutique consulting agency. Not some corporate Shark Tank, she said, but something human. Stylish. Personal. I told her I believed in that. In her. After 8 months, she made the move to Charlotte. Gave up her lease. Boxed her life into 10 suitcases and came south. She moved into my one-bedroom condo downtown, the one I bought after my first big contract. I cleared out closet space. Gave her the bigger bathroom vanity. Started cooking more because she hated delivery food. It wasn't just cohabitation. It felt like partnership. We were building something. Together. The first year was beautiful. Every weekend felt like an adventure. She'd drag me to farmers markets, vintage pop-ups, art shows I'd never find on my own. We'd do movie nights with our phones off. Sunday mornings were for playlists and pancakes. Even the mundane stuff, grocery runs, laundry, paying bills. It all felt easy. Natural. Right. When she decided to launch her firm, I was all in. I designed her brand identity from scratch. Name, logo, pitch decks. Helped her build out her website. Sat through her first few consultation calls with my headphones in, pretending not to listen, but smiling at how effortlessly she sold herself. Her first real client came from a referral I gave her. Within a year, she had 6 on retainer. I was proud. Not just because she was mine. But because she was doing it. She was who she said she wanted to be. I never asked her to pay rent. I covered the utilities. Covered groceries. She pitched in where she could, usually small things, wine for the house, gifts for my niece, plane tickets when we traveled. But I never minded carrying the bigger weight. She was building. I understood that. When people would ask if we were getting married, I'd shrug and say, eventually. Truth is, I thought we already were. In all the ways that mattered. But looking back now, I think the first cracks were already forming. Not obvious. Just little shifts. Things you don't catch until you're looking back in slow motion. Like the way she stopped tagging me in her Instagram posts. Or how she kept turning down invites to hang with my friends, saying she was too tired after a client meeting. Or how she started locking her laptop when she stepped away, even though she used to leave it wide open on the kitchen island. I ignored all of it. Because when you're in it, when you love someone, you tell yourself stories. You fill in the blanks with hope. And the thing about trust? It doesn't break all at once. It's slow. Silent. Like a leak you don't notice until the floorboards are warped and the damage is already done. The changes didn't happen overnight. That's what made them hard to see at first. It started with her schedule. Kalia had always worked late when she had a big client pitch, but now, it was constant. She'd head out at 8 a.m. and wouldn't come back until well after midnight. Strategy session ran long, she'd say. Zara wanted to grab drinks. Had to help Giselle with her campaign launch. At first, I believed her. Why wouldn't I? She was building her business. Hustling. Growing. I didn't want to be the guy who made her feel guilty for that. So I supported it. I brought her takeout when I knew she hadn't eaten. Rubbed her shoulders when she came home complaining about clients who didn't get it. I even started doing more of the housework. Told myself this was temporary. That the long hours would ease up. They didn't. Then came the trips. She started flying out for what she called immersive strategy weekends. Said she needed to be in Atlanta, then Miami, then San Diego. I'm helping rebrand a fitness apparel company, she told me once, tossing a duffel bag on our bed. But it's NDA. Can't say too much. I nodded. Didn't press. But the trips kept coming. Longer each time. And the details? They got vaguer. She'd come back with a tan and a tired smile, say the client was demanding but worth it. No photos. No new contacts. No business cards. Just vague stories and souvenirs from airport gift shops. I started feeling like a stranger in my own home. Conversations got shorter. Eye contact faded. We used to talk about everything, dreams, fears, dumb tweets. Now, it was surface stuff. You good? Yeah. Just tired. Every day, just tired. She'd lie in bed scrolling through her phone with the screen tilted away. Started putting it face down. Stopped leaving it on the charger in the kitchen like she used to. One night, she forgot to close her laptop before heading to the bathroom. An email pinged. It was a hotel confirmation. A spa package, couples massage, rose petal bath, champagne, at a resort in Scottsdale. But that same weekend, she told me she was in Chicago, for a client summit. I didn't confront her. I just stared at the screen for a long time. Memorized the name of the spa. Then I closed the laptop and sat on the couch, feeling something heavy settle in my chest. Her friends started acting different too. Giselle Huff and Zara Mejia, they used to be fun. Loud, opinionated, but always respectful. Lately? Cold. Dismissive. When we'd bump into them out somewhere, they'd give me that polite, empty smile people give when they already know something you don't. I remember one brunch, Zara looked at Kalia and said, "Girl, you don't owe anyone your whole life just because they were nice to you in the beginning." Kalia laughed and sipped her mimosa. Didn't look at me once. That stuck with me. Just because they were nice to you in the beginning, I started checking the bank statements more often. Not because I didn't trust her. Because I didn't trust the silence between us. There were charges I didn't recognize. Spa visits. Boutique hotel stays. Not in the cities she said she was in. Denver. Austin. Savannah. Once, I asked her how her trip to Nashville went. She blinked, caught off guard, then said, "Oh, it was chill." But there were no Nashville charges on the card. Only Los Angeles. And still. I said nothing. Because some part of me was still hoping it was just me. That maybe I was overthinking, overanalyzing. That maybe this was just what long-term love looked like. Messy. Busy. Distracted. But deep down, I knew better. I just wasn't ready to admit it yet. It was a Sunday morning. Late October. The air outside had that kind of stillness you only notice when your world's about to shift. I was making coffee. 2 mugs, like always. She came out of the bedroom in sweatpants and one of my old college hoodies, eyes tired, arms crossed like she was hugging herself. "I need some space." She said it just like that. No build-up. No preamble. I need time to reset. To rethink where I'm going. I set the mug down without taking a sip. Didn't ask what she meant. I already knew. "How long?" I said, voice low. "I don't know." She was staring at the kitchen tiles, not at me. I feel like I'm losing myself. Like everything's too tangled, and I can't breathe. I didn't ask who made her feel that way. I didn't ask if she meant me. Because when someone's already halfway out the door, the last thing you want to do is hand them the rest of their luggage. She said she was going to stay with Giselle for a while. Just a few weeks. I need to be in my own headspace. Figure some things out. She didn't cry. She didn't even touch me. She packed a small suitcase. Not all of her things, just enough to make it clear this wasn't goodbye. Just a pause. A comma. She left behind her favorite mugs, a few pairs of shoes, a silk scarf she always wore when she was nervous. And I held on to those things like they meant something. Like they were proof she'd come back. She texted that night. Made it to G's. Gonna rest. Thanks for being patient with me. I stared at the screen until it dimmed. Over the next week, she'd send the occasional message. Client stuff's wild right now. Hope work's going okay. G and I are doing a digital detox. Always polite. Always vague. Never warm. I didn't ask questions. Didn't flood her inbox. Didn't show up at Giselle's place. I just waited. I waited the way you wait when something inside you is bleeding but you're too proud to scream. The way you wait when you know you've been replaced, but you're still hoping you're wrong. I'd go to work. Smile when I had to. Numb through the rest. Come home to a quiet condo that still smelled like her coconut shampoo. Cook meals I couldn't finish. Watch shows we used to watch together, only now in silence. It's a strange thing, loving someone who's fading from your life in real time. Like watching a photograph slowly burn at the edges, still beautiful, but disappearing, no matter how tight you hold it. And the worst part? She didn't even seem conflicted. She seemed free. It had been 11 days since she left. Not that I was counting. But when you're in limbo, time doesn't move in days, it moves in doubts. What did I miss? What could I have said? Was there something I should have done differently? I hadn't heard from her in 3 days. No texts. No updates. Just digital silence. I told myself she needed space. I told myself to be patient. But deep down, something was unraveling. Quietly. Constantly. That night, I couldn't sleep. I got out of bed, sat on the couch in the dark, and did what I told myself I wouldn't do. I opened Instagram. I wasn't even looking for her. I was just scrolling, numbing the ache. Likes, reels, travel photos, sponsored ads. Nothing real. Nothing that touched me. Until I saw a story from Joelle Waller. We weren't close. Friend of a friend type. We'd met maybe twice at networking mixers. She was always posting behind-the-scenes clips from corporate events, weddings, influencer brunches. She tagged it, #BaseWeddingTulum #ForeverStartsNow. I almost swiped past. But something made me pause. The first slide was a drone shot over turquoise water. Palm trees, floral arches, all the cliché beauty you expect from a destination wedding. Then came the aisle walk, slow, cinematic, romantic. Then the bride. She stepped into frame in a white lace gown. Veil blowing softly in the breeze. Shoulders back. Smile wide. Hands linked with the groom. I leaned forward. My heart stalled. I blinked once. Then again. It was her. Kalia. No question. No doubt. No maybe. It was her. My Kalia. In a wedding dress. And the man beside her. Clean cut. Tall. Tan. His face only half in view, but enough for me to recognize. Finley Bass. She'd mentioned him once. Said he was a fitness brand client. Some personal trainer turned lifestyle coach she was helping rebrand. Said he was a lot of energy, but harmless. They weren't harmless now. They were married. I froze, thumb still hovering over the screen. I tapped to the next slide, a photo of their first kiss under the arch. Captioned, introducing Mr. and Mrs. Base. My breath caught. I tapped again. A selfie from Joelle, her and Giselle, smiling with champagne glasses. Tagged location, Tulum Beach Resort. Date stamp, 3 days ago. So while I was sitting alone in our condo, cooking dinner for one, wondering if she missed me, if she was okay, if she was thinking about us, she was dancing barefoot in Mexico, saying vows to another man. I closed the app, stared at the wall for a long time. My chest was tight, not like heartbreak, more like disbelief. Not loud pain. Just a deep, hollow echo. It wasn't just betrayal. It was how cleanly she severed the truth. How easily she constructed a whole new reality without even telling me. No warning. No goodbye. Just, I need space. For days later, I do. I didn't sleep that night. Didn't even lie down. I just sat on the floor, back against the wall, staring at nothing while her wedding photos replayed in my mind on a loop. Kalia in white. Finley smiling. Me, invisible. Around 6 a.m., I made a call I didn't think I'd ever have to make. Case Rosas. We'd been college roommates. He was the kind of guy who could hack a vending machine for free snacks in under 60 seconds. Now, he worked in cybersecurity for a private firm. We hadn't talked in a while. But real friends don't need daily check-ins. I told him everything. He didn't ask questions. Just said, send me the last iCloud password you remember using with her. I gave it to him. 10 minutes later, he texted, you might want to sit down for this. He dropped a zip file into my inbox. 6 gigabytes. Photos. Screenshots. Emails. Flight confirmations. PDF contracts. All linked to a shared cloud account we had created back when she moved in, back when we trusted each other. I opened it slowly, like peeling back gauze from a wound I already knew was infected. The first thing I saw. A photo of Kalia at a bridal boutique in Atlanta. Standing in front of a mirror, trying on a mermaid-cut wedding gown. The same one from the ceremony in Tulum. There were 6 more. Different angles. Different dresses. All time-stamped from 3 months ago, back when she told me she was flying out for a client pitch. She wasn't pitching. She was planning. Next was a screenshot of an email from the resort's event coordinator. Subject line, deposit confirmation, base wedding, final installment due August 1st. Attached was a payment receipt. Paid in full. Using my American Express. My hands went cold. I clicked through to more emails. Her exchanging logistics with the planner. Sending floral references. Menu preferences. A spreadsheet titled, Guest List Final, Do Not Share. There were 47 names. Mine wasn't one of them. Then I found the messages. A WhatsApp thread between her and Giovanna Neal. Kalia sent a mirror selfie in another gown. Giovanna responded, you look like a goddess. He's going to lose his mind. Then, this is what you deserve. Someone exciting. Someone who makes your life feel alive. Someone exciting. That word again. I remembered that phrase. Giovanna said it once, casually, over drinks, while we were all out for my birthday dinner. Kalia had laughed. I'd laughed too. Because back then, I thought it was just banter. Not foreshadowing. I sat there for a long time, laptop warm on my legs, heart colder than I'd ever felt in my life. This wasn't some impulsive affair. This was months in the making. Strategic. Silent. Surgical. She used my name, my home, my credit card, to start a life with someone else. And she left just enough behind to keep me still, while she ran off to become someone new. I didn't call her. Didn't text. Didn't demand an explanation. She'd already told me everything I needed to know, not with words, but with actions. Instead, I opened a new email draft. Attached the receipts. Screenshots of the wedding deposits, the dress fittings, the hotel charges under my card. I sent it all to Carmen Gilbert, a lawyer I'd worked with once during a branding deal gone sideways. I didn't give her much detail. Just the subject line, need to initiate fraud proceedings. Confidential. Within 15 minutes, she replied, let's talk Monday. You're doing the right thing. The next hour, I canceled every card with my name on it. Not just the ones she used, all of them. Started from scratch. Changed passwords. Logged out of every device. Locked the joint savings. She might have worn white in Tulum, but I was the one cleaning house. By noon, I'd pulled up apartment listings. I couldn't stay in that condo. Not with the ghost of her still hanging in the air. Every drawer she once opened felt contaminated. Every pillow still carried her shape. So I gave myself a deadline. 2 weeks. 2 weeks to relocate. 2 weeks to unbind myself from a future we never really had. I walked room to room with a notebook in hand, noting what to keep, what to sell, what to donate. By the end of the day, I had 5 boxes packed, and a silence that finally felt like mine again. She wanted space. Now she had it. All of it. It was a Friday. Exactly 1 week since I'd seen the wedding video. I'd just gotten back from a showing at a 1-bedroom loft across town, quiet, brick walls, high windows, no history. I stood in the kitchen, sorting through donation labels when I heard the knock. Soft. 3 short taps. I knew that rhythm. I opened the door. There she was. Kalia. Same twisted curls. Same perfume. But something was different. Her energy. Her posture. She looked unsure. Hey, she said, like we'd just seen each other yesterday. I was in the neighborhood. Thought we should talk. She didn't wait for me to answer. Just walked inside like nothing had changed. Like she still lived there. I watched her glance around the room, her eyes catching the taped boxes, the half-empty bookshelf, the bare nail holes on the walls. You're moving? She asked, voice light. I didn't respond. Just nodded once and gestured to the couch. We sat in silence. She cleared her throat, crossed her legs, shifted her weight like she was waiting for permission to speak. I know this is sudden. And messy. And maybe I handled things wrong. Her hands were fidgeting now. I never meant to hurt you, Armani. I panicked. Everything with Finley moved too fast. The wedding was a whirlwind. It wasn't even what I thought it would be. She looked up at me then. It was a mistake. I stayed quiet. Let her fill the air. I know you're angry. And you have every right to be. But I came because. I don't know. I guess I thought maybe we could talk. Maybe figure things out. I reached to the coffee table. Picked up the navy blue folder I'd been keeping under lock. Set it down between us. Opened it slowly. Inside were the printed screenshots. Her email confirmations. The dress fittings. The WhatsApp messages. The spa receipts. Every dollar charged to my name. Every lie wrapped in lace and champagne. She stared down at the pages, color draining from her face like water down a sink. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. You're not angry? She finally asked, barely above a whisper. I leaned back. Looked her in the eye, really looked. I said. 4 days. Weeks, probably. I was angry at myself for trusting you. Angry that I didn't see it coming. Angry that the person I loved couldn't even tell me goodbye. I paused. But now? Now I'm just done. She blinked. Once. Twice. A slow inhale, but no apology. No confession. Just silence. The kind that ends things. She stood up, folder still open, her fingers brushing the pages like they might burn. I should go, she said softly. I didn't answer. I didn't walk her out. I just let the door close behind her. 2 months passed. I never heard from her again. But Marley Becker did. Mutual friend, more her circle than mine. She called one evening just to check in. Not that it matters, she said, but Finley's already talking to other women. She didn't sound surprised. Neither was I. According to Marley, their whirlwind marriage lasted 5 weeks. Barely made it past the Instagram honeymoon. He'd started taking business trips to Dallas and LA, tagging models in gym selfies, posting quotes about new energy. Typical. Predictable. Empty. Kalia stopped posting altogether. Meanwhile, I was busy packing. I took the loft in Denver. Moved in just after the new year. Smaller space, simpler layout. No echoes of what used to be. I sold the old furniture. Donated the rest. Everything I brought with me fit in a 12-foot U-Haul and the back of my Jeep. I picked up new freelance clients, branding work for indie filmmakers, a non-profit startup, a fashion label out of Portland. Work I actually cared about. Work that didn't drain me. And then, one evening over coffee at a co-working space downtown, I ran into Gwendolyn Briggs. We'd known each other back in college. Almost something once. Bad timing got in the way. She was here now, working as a creative director for a design firm. We talked for hours. Not about pain. Not about the past. Just about where we were going next. It didn't feel like a beginning. It felt like a continuation, of something that had waited patiently to return. It's evening in Denver. The sun is dipping behind the skyline, throwing long shadows across the rooftop. I'm sitting on a metal chair with a blanket over my shoulders and a cup of black coffee in my hand. There's a stillness up here. A kind of peace that only shows up after the storm's passed and the wreckage has been cleared. It's been 4 months. Since the wedding. Since the confrontation. Since I stopped asking why and started focusing on what's next. There's something you realize when you've been lied to by someone you loved. It's not just the betrayal that hurts. It's the role you played without knowing the script had already been rewritten. Sometimes the people we trust the most are just actors in the story they tell themselves. They rewrite the plot, reshape the ending, recast the roles. And if you're not careful, you'll wake up one day and realize, you were just a supporting character in someone else's fantasy. But not anymore. Not me. Now, I'm the lead in mine. And if you've ever found yourself in that place, staring at the rubble of what you thought was love, I hope you know, the story doesn't end there. It starts again. With you. And no one gets to steal that chapter but you. If this story hit home. If you've been there, the silence, the betrayal, the moment you finally let go, drop a comment below. I read them all. You're not alone. And don't forget to like and subscribe. There are more stories like this, real ones. Yours. Mine. Ours. Thanks for listening. Until next time.